Today, we're revisiting the Keygrip from Portkeys. In the last video, I compared it to the revolver clutch, especially for use with the Zcam E2 series. So if you want to watch that before coming back to this video, I'll have a link down in the video description. But Portkeys has made some changes to this to improve on a few issues. And now I've also got some Sony cameras to try it out with, so let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I'm Scott and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense reviews and tutorials. And jumping right into it, I'll address a few issues, some that have changed and some that have not. First off, some problems that still exist. This joystick here still barely moves. It really makes it hard to feel if I'm actually pushing it to the side or clicking it. Maybe other people are okay with it and I'm sure that I could get used to it, but I just do not like this joystick in all honesty. This little rubber piece here on the back does still come out rather easily. I'm not sure if it's changed from before or not, but as you can see, it still does come out and flap around pretty easily, so that can be a little bit annoying. This three-way switch on the front had a little rubber tip on it, as it did with the original, and it might have been on there a little bit more securely, but again, as you can see, just with casual use, after one or two times, it came off again. It's not that big of a deal. I'd honestly prefer to have it this way, but the fact that they put it on there and it comes off or breaks off so easily just makes me feel a little bit less confident in the overall attention to detail, the build quality of the detail on this grip. But it doesn't really affect actual use whatsoever. Now the battery door on the bottom has been updated and we'll talk about the changes in a second, but I still don't really like how it closes. It has more than a few times for me accidentally popped open again just because it hadn't quite clicked in enough. It feels like a combination of a really tight fit and a latch that's just not quite long enough. That makes it really quite difficult to make sure that you push it closed and latch it closed tightly. Once it's in there, it hasn't been an issue, but it just, I don't know, it bothers me a little bit because it can sometimes be annoying to get it closed really tightly. So now for things that have changed or have been improved. The battery door's physical design and how to power this on and off have totally changed. The power is no longer turned on and off with the record button. Before, it was too easy to accidentally turn it on just by pushing it when it was in your bag. And now there's a simple switch right next to the battery door to turn that on and off. It's perfect and the way that it should have been from the start. This should also help avoid draining the batteries slowly when the power is turned off, which was a problem before. And now on top of that, you can also replace the batteries with a dummy battery pack that will take power from an external battery if you have this on a larger rig. There's a little hole in the door here where that dummy battery cable would come out through, so it's good to have that as an option. And I believe you can get a new door to put onto the original setup, the original grip, if you have that. If you just contact Portkeys, they can get you hooked up with a new door to mod the original grip yourself. The screw on the rosette was originally separate from the actual wheel that you used to tighten it, and it could be pretty easily pushed in by accident, and then you didn't have enough screw sticking out to screw it onto your camera. It was a small detail, but really frustrating, and a nightmare if you just pulled it out of your bag like that on set. Now it's all made from one piece and it can't be accidentally pushed in. This is the way it should have been from the start, so it's nice to see that it's basically back to normal, which again is a good thing. Now, as far as I can tell, that's about it for the major upgrades, at least on the outside. Before, I did review this together with the revolver clutch handle for the Zcam E2 series, but now I'm actually using Sony, and I just wanted to very quickly show you how it works with Sony, specifically the A7R IV. All right, so turn the handle power on, and you can see that it powers on here. It's got a little display screen right there. Okay, now we're on. We're going to go into the camera in the Network 1 page and turn on PC remote function. And in the key grip here, I know it's hard to see on camera, but we're going to use the Sony multi-connection. So to choose that, there's a little button here that shows your mode switch. So you're going to push that and it will bring you into the sort of menu. You can use the joystick or the dial to navigate through there. So we're going to choose camera by pushing down on either one and then scroll through. You've got some different choices. We'll choose Sony Multi. Again, I know you can't really see this, but we'll choose Sony Multi by clicking. And then once you choose that, you're going to hold that down for a couple seconds. It'll back out of that menu. We're going to choose which functions we have set to each of the 3 positions for this toggle switch on the front. So scroll down to function, which is just under camera option in the menu, and click again. And you can choose the right, middle, and left functions. Now, with the Sony a7R4, if you click there, you can see you have choices between the iris, ISO, shutter, zoom, grid, and that's pretty much it. So for me, the useful ones would be what I have set. So I'm going to hold that down to back out of the menu. I have iris, ISO, and shutter set to my right, middle, and left positions. So hold that down again to back out to the main screen once more. And there we go, we're on the home screen here, where you can see what actual camera setting you have, what each of your right, middle, and left positions are programmed to, as well as the battery life remaining in voltage here. Now on top of all of this, of course, you can start and stop recording by pushing the button, as you can see there. It works absolutely fine, no delay, no anything like that, it works perfectly. As you switch the little toggle on the front back and forth, you can see that the arrow points to which position it's in, so if you can see the screen on this handle, then you can know exactly what you're controlling. Otherwise, you would just have to memorize what is set to what position. I wish that there were also menu control, but again, depending on your camera, you could have a lot more functions that you can map to these dials that I'm showing you right here. So it's going to depend a lot on which camera you use. For me, I do still think that the revolver clutch is a more refined and polished product without any bugs or real problems whatsoever. Plus, there's no batteries required, but the Keygrip does give a little bit more functionality, and a lot more functionality for certain cameras. It's programmable and reprogrammable without a computer, and it can integrate with their camera control monitors, as well as the tilt-up follow focus, in ways that the clutch handle just can't. They've made some significant improvements to this version with some nitpicky complaints left over, but I think that it just comes down to what you need out of it. If you have any questions or comments though, let me know down below and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and see you next time.